Happy Multichrome Monday. Today I'm going to be doing just a bunch of swatch comparisons for one shade. I know it's just going to be all about the Glam Shop Shadow Virtual Pink. If you know, you know. There's also on Wednesdays we wear pink from Touch of Glam Beauty that you might have heard of, or Karla Cosmetics Moody Cow. So we're going to do swatch comparisons between all these pink, blue, purple, multi-chrome, dual chrome shadows. I am including also 2 liquid shadows. I just wanted to kind of cover my bases on everything depending on what your preference is. We're going to talk about textures, we're going to talk about color and pricing as well. So let's get right into it. So this right here is a swatch of Virtual Pink. It has a very translucent base, which you will see especially compared to some of these other similar shades. I'm going to try my best to make sure that everything stays in focus, but I can't guarantee it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit everything onto the back of my hand, so we'll see how that goes. And then here's what that looks like on my finger. It's such a beautiful shade. It almost like kind of disappears at a certain angle like this. You can see kind of has a yellowy, orangey base. And then you can see the flash of blue. And I feel like the pink becomes a bit less obvious. You can kind of start to see it at this angle. There's a little bit of purple as well. It is such a beautiful shadow. It is very, very sheer for sure, especially if you blend it out even further. Here's Touch of Glam. On Wednesdays we wear pink. Now I did repress this one. It is a little bit on the flaky side, and actually the Glam Shop shade looks a little bit flaky in the pan, but it does kind of pick up really smooth. So now I'm gonna swatch this one with that. Already you can see it's very similar. I think the base, without layering a lot more than this one, the base is a bit stronger on the Touch of Glam shadow because I did put on a couple more layers. So let me actually do just like one more layer just to show you. And the base is just slightly different. It's really such a minuscule difference. Next up is a single shadow from Sugar Drizzle, and this is Sugar Rain. And this one is actually a recent discovery since I've been playing around with some of these Sugar Drizzle single shadows. They're so beautiful. They're so silky smooth. And I was like, wait a minute, this looks actually a little bit familiar. Now, this one is very smooth and it looks smooth in the pan. And it does even look smoother swatched out. I think you could tell. If anything, maybe it's a little less shiny than these 2 shades together. And here's kind of the base color. I think the pink purple is a little bit more predominant in this shade. Then we have Haley's Comment, and this is from Terra Moons, and this one is super extra deliciously sparkly. As you can see, it's sparkly in a piecey way, not necessarily a flaky way, and I think you can kind of see it on the edge of the swatch as it picked up. I'm going to add a little bit more just to build it up, and you can already see the pink base is very, very strong on this one. I'm actually going to zoom out a little bit so you can see all the shades now together. So this one does stand out a bit. It's not completely in just, not even just texture, but in color, it is a bit different. Next up, this is Thusa, and this is from Devinah. This shade is from one of their newest collections, and this one is super silky smooth. Absolutely beautiful. And I'm going to swatch that one here. Very, very similar. Lots of similarities between these 3 from my angle especially as well. I'm going to add another layer because this is a kind of sheer-ish shade, so you can sheer it out or you can build it up. So it does not have that almost yellow base that Virtual Pink does. It's almost like a yellowy orange base. So it is a little bit different in that sense. Next up is Cream Puff Cuddles, also from Devinah. And this one is also a little piece similar to Haley's Comment from Terra Moons. And I'm going to put that one right underneath here. This one, it has a very, very strong pink base. So I would say it's not, it's like a little similar, but I think it's pretty different because the pink is so vibrant. I'm going to add another layer. Again, you can kind of build it up in opacity. And here's Marshmallow Pillows, also from Devinah. I think this one is obviously the most different. It's very, very light. And the shift is not as obvious. I would say that one is probably one of the least close shades. And then I'm going to swatch Spotlight from Clionadh. Here's what that one looks like. Also looks like it has a very strong pink base, so I don't think it's going to be that similar. This one is swatching a little bit sheer, so I'm going to build it up. Yeah, that one is pretty different, and the shift is not as obvious. The flash of blue is not as obvious. And then this is Puffles from Devinah, and this is an iridescent multichrome, so it does not have some sort of a base to it. You can see it's a little bit piecey, but not flaky. Now when I'm going to swatch down here, I felt like it had a similar tone, but obviously with a transparent background to it, if you will. So again, here's these for reference. So I would say pretty different. I'm going to swatch these on my palm next to each other. So here's Puffles and here's Virtual Pink. And they have similar flashes of color, but again, even though this has such a faint base to it, it's very obvious compared to Cream Puff Puddles. So now I'm going to be comparing these 3 pressed single shadows to the 2 loose pigments and 2 liquid multichrome shadows that I have. So here's a Virtual Pink from Glam Shop. Then on Wednesdays we wear Pink from Touch of Glam Beauty and Sugar Rain from Sugar Drizzle. Now for these pigments, I'm going to have to use some sort of a primer since they are loose. And I'm just using the Fix Potion from Karla Cosmetics. Really, really love this primer a lot. So I have some in the cap here from previously using this shade, so I'm going to try to kind of salvage what I can from there before dumping some out. So I'm going to put that one right here. This is Moody Cow from Karla Cosmetics, and I'm going to try to actually gently dump out a little bit more to see if I can kind of layer it, but it's a little hard to gauge how much you're putting out. Here we go. And this is Aura Quartz from ProGlitz, and this one doesn't have a sifter. So I can just kind of go in there. Swatch. These are all very, very similar. So far, I think you can tell. I mean, from my angle, they look almost identical. There's slight differences here, but then we have the liquid multichrome shadow. This is Pink Rock Candy from Sugar Drizzle. And then it says there's 2 layers. So it has a very similar base, similar shift, but it is a bit more obvious. It is more opaque. And then below that, Inertia. I think this one's going to be pretty different, but I just thought, yeah, it's got like a different kind of purple tone. It's not really that similar. No! Sorry for the sound. I totally didn't realize that I didn't have my mic plugged in. So this whole time I was recording with whatever the camera audio is. So hopefully it'll be better now. But here's all of the swatches together. So let's talk about some pricing. So Glam Shop Virtual Pink, obviously it is a Polish indie brand, but the shadow is between $8 and $10 depending on if it's on sale or at full price. Plus on top of that, if you are US based, you will have to pay quite a bit to ship it here. So it might not be worth it even though it is on the less expensive side itself. On Wednesdays, we wear Pink from Touch of Glam Beauty. Is normally over $19.50. I believe it is coupon eligible, so you can save 10% off of that. But right now, as I'm filming this, it is on sale for 30% off. The Sugar Drizzle Sugar Rain shadow is $16, plus you can use a code, which will bring it down to, I believe, like $14.50. And then Moody Cow from Karla Cosmetics. I think this one is the most expensive. This one is over $26, and you can use a 10% off coupon, which will bring it down. But again, if you're US based, the shipping might also, on top of that, bump it up quite a bit if you're only ordering this shadow. Then the ProGlitz Aura Quartz is $17, plus you can use a code, and they are also UK based. So additional shipping on top of that. Both of these liquid multichrome shadows from Sugar Drizzle are $16 each, plus you can use a coupon code. And then from the first batch of swatches, there was Devinah Thusa, which is $17, and it is not code eligible. Then Haley's Comment from Terra, which is $8.50, and I believe it is code eligible, I think. And then Devinah Cream Puff Cuddles is $8, and Marshmallow Pillows is also $8, and Puffles is also $8, and Clionadh Spotlight is about $7.50, but if you're US based, you will have to pay shipping from Canada. And so that's everything for this video. Let me know in the comments below if you thought this was helpful. I will not be doing this with every single eyeshadow, as that will take forever, and I have lots and lots of swatch comparisons to most shadows unless I don't have anything similar. I thought this would be fun because I have had quite a few people ask specifically about this shadow, and I know because it is such a standout shadow from Glam Shop that it will be good to see some alternatives from maybe some non-European based indie brands, as well as other European indie brands. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time.